Your first question to me, what does "you are already free," what does that mean to me? And it really made me think. I ask everyone, what does that mean to you? And I think in this time where we've had a political change, at least here in America, I wanted to bounce that question back to you. Why did you name your podcast? What does it mean to you? I have a feeling I know, but what does it mean to you?
Oh, that's such a great question. And it's so fun to have that bounce back at me. So we are already free. And it's actually, I would have asked you that at the end. It's always such an interesting thing to hear what a guest is going to say, because honestly, I've had a few people, not many, but like some people go, we are not free. Like we are in a prison system. We're born into a prison system. And that's been amazing as well. But I just love like I say to everyone, I'm not expecting an outcome. I just want to know what that brings up for you in this moment. And because you've already been on the podcast twice, I've had two different answers. And now I wish I'd gone back and listened to those before this episode. So how that actually came about was during the lockdowns. Honestly, it was first happened and we in South Africa, and they going, we're going to lock down, it's going to be 2 weeks, and then it wasn't 2 weeks, and I kind of ignored it initially, honestly, because I thought this is just another one of those things that happens where people panic about the next flu or something, and then it just blows over. And it didn't, obviously. It reached a point where I started posting things on social media, just like statistics. Do you know that most of the people who are struggling with this are have multiple comorbidities and are already in a really bad state, and things like that, which I thought were very sensible and kind of like, yeah, we just look, there's other stuff going on here. And it just created so much polarity and so many arguments and people blocking each other and attacking each other. So I just went quiet. As you know, I'm a musician, I'm a songwriter, I'm a poet, I'm a communicator. I'm here to speak and to share messages, and I couldn't stay silent. So for the first time in my life, strangely enough, I actually started writing long form spoken word poems, which I'd never done. I've written songs since I was 14. I've written many kinds of poems, but suddenly there was this new thing that was coming through. And I think maybe the third poem I wrote was a poem called "We Are Already Free." And the first line of that poem, and I have goosebumps talking about this right now, but the first line of that poem starts, "If you believe that you can vaccinate yourself to health and consume your way to wealth." And the rest of the poem speaks to what I was witnessing around basically that nature heals. Nature is our teacher. And if we go against nature, you're free to make that choice, whoever you are out there. But also remember that I'm also free to make a choice. And so the final line of the poem is actually that. The final line of the poem is "We are already free." And it kind of went viral. I think it's the only thing I've ever put out there that's kind of gone around the world, and people were sending it to me from all over. And so that's how "We Are Already Free" came about. So in terms of what does it mean to me, it's a mantra. It's a prayer. Because a lot of the time I don't feel free, dude. A lot of the time I feel stuck in old patterns or in this society, or in those moments I remember and I use that "We Are Already Free" to remind myself that, like Mandela, who was in prison for 27 years on Robben Island here in Cape Town, he was still free. He was already free because he used that time to grow himself and so that when he was finally physically released, he could step out and say, let's be at peace with each other. Let's make peace and let's make a rainbow nation. That to me is a sign of freedom.